Many in the country and beyond admire this man who has done a lot of positive things to change the civil society. Some years back, when he was invited to address the trainees at Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy at Dehradun, he very candidly remarked that a panwala might make more money than any of them. For all that he said, he was a career civil servant, a good one for that matter. He was the topper in 1955 batch, and he rose to the position of cabinet secretary. Between 91 and 96, he served as the 10th Chief Election Commissioner of India. What the previous 9 commissioners did not do, he did it. He used every provision in the law and cleaned the electoral process. He set such a precedent that all the subsequent Chief Election Commissioners and other commissioners did a wonderful job, and today we have a reasonably fair and free election, and we have less fear to vote. Yes, you all must have guessed right. I'm talking about Mr. T.N. Seshan. A controversial civil servant, but then a good one. He practiced what he preached, was great in work ethics. Can you have civil servants like Mr. Seshan? Can you have civil servants like other great ones? Mrs. Kiran Bedi, Mr. Vittal, and very recently we had great collectors in Madurai. Can you have people like them who are conscious, committed to their profession? Can you have people who would be righteous in any trying circumstances? You can ask lots of can we do, and things like that. But can we do also something to have civil servants who would be really just, intelligent, honest, and ethical? The answer is yes, we can. We can. Not just we can, we should. But how? The answer is catch them young, teach them right, inspire them to become civil servants with a character. I'm here to talk to you about an initiative, a Lead India, in this direction. Lead India project is a brainchild of Kavian Foundation in Madurai and its managing trustee, Mr. Deenadayala Pandian. The foundation and the trustee, we strongly believe that it is possible for righteous civil servant to cause a great impact on the society. Again, we had recent examples in Madurai where the collectors had tremendous impact on the people of Madurai. They started believing in people, believing in officers. That kind of impact collectors recently have made. So why don't we have a lot of people like that? A lot of people who are really honest and willing to serve the people. So we have a vision for Lead India project, which says, groom the selected young students to become civil servants with a sterling character. But a while ago, I was sitting with a young civil servant, a recent recruit. He didn't have what we are planning to do. Within 1 year, he could pass, and with one attempt, the first attempt, could get. But what we are trying to do is give them a long years of training. Not just to prepare for the civil services exam per se, but then groom them to become servants with a sterling character. That is what we want to do. Lead India project is all about that. We are confining ourselves to the southern districts to start with: Madurai, Theni, Dindigul, Virudhunagar, Sivagangai, and Ramanathapuram. So these are the 6 districts we have taken. Young students from these 6 districts, class 11 students, are identified, selected, and then we take them as our own students. They are inducted into the Lead India program. For the next 6 to 7 years, they are under our care. And for all that requires, Kavian Foundation takes care of it. We have a reasonably well thought out selection process, because it's a large number of students and we just select the best, the promising ones. We write to the headmasters, principals of over 700 higher secondary schools, requesting them to encourage their best students to apply. We have a 4 pages application form which calls for lots of details, personal details, their attitudes, their ambitions, and also their ability to communicate. So a lot of things are asked, and when we receive those applications, we read through them very, very carefully. We talk to the students. We have a friendly, chatty, telephonic conversation, something like 20 to 30 minutes. We speak to them. We speak to the headmasters, and the reference is given in the application form. After all those background checking, we shortlist something like 80 students. And these 80 students are invited for a day-long selection process. We normally do it in 2 days, a day for boys, another day for girls, because we are going to have always equal number of boys and girls. Like in our first batch, I could see Mrs. Marley clapping. The first batch we had 15 girls and 15 boys, and the second batch also we have 15 girls and 15 boys. We are not going to compromise on that. So we have a day exclusively for the girls, another day exclusively for the boys, and then we select after a large number of tests. The students are invited to reach the test venue by 10 o'clock, and from 10 to 5 we have a battery of tests. The first 5 tests are written tests. They write a test to see how good are they in their current affairs general knowledge. We see by a test, do they have lateral thinking capability? Do they think out of box? We have a test to see their mathematical intelligence. We have a test to see their creative writing capability, and also their observation ability. And then we have a topic given to these boys and girls just 5 minutes before. They have to prepare within that 5 minutes and give a speech. We also see whether they have, the topics are given in such a way that it gives out something about them, their character. So we have a talk in Tamil, and then we see the ability of those children. It's not just the mental ability alone, but the physical ability as well is tested. If it's girls, even boys can do skipping. We give them 2 or 3 minutes time. Within the 2 or 3 minutes time, how many times can they skip? It's counted. Based on that, we give points. If it's boys or in girls, we have short runs. So between 10 meters distance, how many times can they run in 3 minutes time? So that's also tested. So we want to see that they are physically strong. So that test is being done. And then towards the end, we have a panel interview. The panel interview is conducted by Mr. Karpur Sundarpandian, a retired IAS officer with 38 years of distinguished service, who is also connected with an IAS academy in Chennai, and Dr. Ramaswamy, a Tamil professor, and of course Mrs. Padmashini, the head of the school where the whole thing is done, the Kavian school. So they do ask questions, probing questions, to see whether the child has the capability to do it and has the right attitude to serve as a civil servant. All these tests carry about 200 marks. We do the totaling, and in a very transparent manner, we select the first 15 girls, the first 15 boys. So that's how our selection process is. Once they are selected, they are taken into residential camps twice in a year. They are going to be with us for 6 years. During the 6 years, that's the schooling 2 years, the college 3 or 4 years. So we have taken us 6 years. During the 6 years, they'll attend 2 camps in a year. The month of December after Christmas, and again the month of May when we have the summer holidays. The camps are residential. They stay with us. I stay with them. I'm the secretary to the Lead India project. The day begins for them 6 o'clock. They are ready by 6 o'clock, and actually it begins with a quiet reading. They read something like 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So they read any good book provided to them. And after that, we have half an hour to 45 minutes of singing. They all learn to sing songs in different Indian languages. All the songs are either praising the nature or nation. And then we have the yoga session. We want all our boys and girls to make yoga as part of their life. I'm glad to say it has already happened with our first batch of boys and girls. There is even a boy by name Muttarasan who has taught yoga to his own parents. The whole family is doing it. We have an excellent master, yoga master, who comes early in the morning. We start something like 7:30 or so, and for 1 hour they are trained in various things. They do meditation and so on. So we have yoga, which is becoming part of their life. Well, it has the physical well-being in mind as well as spiritual. We believe civil servants should be able to think very well before taking a decision. Analyze the pros and cons and come to a proper conclusion. Chess could help. She would definitely agree with me. It really helps to decide what should be your next move. We make them learn chess in the proper way. Write the moves, think what is the consequence, and then move. Most of these boys and girls perhaps play chess, but not in a very organized manner. But we teach them how to play chess properly. We have a master who has a good ranking, Narayanan, and he teaches chess almost for 1 hour every day, immediately after breakfast. And then we have a number of activities. One important activity is teaching them English the proper way. Most of our boys and girls are from rural schools. They're all from Tamil medium, but they require this language skill because that's where most of them do not do well. They lose their confidence, and in the exams also they don't fare well because their command of the language is not good. So we have a very senior teacher who's doing a voluntary work. All our trainers are volunteers. We don't pay anybody. They all come for the love of it. So Mrs. Sita Krishnamurthy is a very, very senior teacher, worked with me, and she comes and helps the children to read, write, speak English better. We also use technology to pronounce the words correctly in an accepted manner, and then they're done. So we have quiet reading time, a lot of English. We also teach Hindi. Of course, I don't have the slide here to show they're learning Hindi, but Hindi is also taught to these boys and girls so that they will be able to perform better should they be selected, posted elsewhere, not in Tamil Nadu. A leader, not necessarily a political leader, any leader should be able to communicate his ideas very well. Public speaking is important. And this public speaking, we train them. We have a Toastmaster who volunteers again his time, and then these boys and girls are trained to speak, the right body language, modulation, everything connected with public speaking is trained. More than that, we need to have good role models. In society, our boys and girls, the young people, to see a lot of negative things. One is carried away by all those negative things. They don't see the positive because there are less opportunities. So we would like to bring good role models for them to emulate. The lady there is Miss Madhurandaki. She is the topper, the number one in last year's Group 1 examination. We invited her. She came on her own after a bit of joling. She spent one full day with our boys and girls, and that was a lot of inspiration for them. She had talked to them, dined with them, and all those things were done, which inspired them. And the gentleman this side is Mr. Karpura Sundarabadian. As I said, he has 38 years of distinguished service, and he is training a lot of people for IAS exams. He is one of our trainers, and his service record is something people really envy. That's the kind of record, and his personal example, his intelligence, all these things are put to use in our Lead India camps. Mr. Ravindranath had his education abroad, worked abroad, he returned to India to do something good for the nation. He has his own setup in his native place where Mr. Ravindranath and his wife Gauri are helping. He volunteered to help the children. These are not the only three people. We are a host of them. They all come and help us in training the children, being good role models. One important thing which helps all our children, I've seen it in schools, I'm seeing it now also, that theatre arts, training in theatre arts really helps them to improve their self-confidence. I can give umpteen number of examples where theatre arts has helped children to come out of themselves. So we have theatre art training for all our boys and girls. Every day in the second camp, they had theatre arts training in the evening hours. We have a very popular theatre arts teacher, and he comes and helps. And at the end of the day, at the end of the camp, we had even skits prepared by them, and they enacted for their parents to see. Theatre arts has really helped our boys and girls to become very, very confident. I have a small glimpse of one of the skits made by girls for you to see. Kavita from a rural school, and I mean, this is only a small part of it. They had a complete 20-minute skit just for the audience thing. I just brought a small clipping. So this skit was prepared by them and then performed. We've seen that the children get a lot of confidence after doing that. We had a separate skit for the boys also. So as we progress, we intend to make all our boys and girls to take service projects in their own area. These service projects could be done by them individually or in small groups, which will help them to realize the problems faced by the people and perhaps also to think of solutions. We need a lot of people who are really service-minded, who would put nation first before self, and that's the kind of work we would like to do in Lead India project of Kavian Foundation. After 6 years of this kind of training, where they are shaped to think of people than their own person, we have one last year to train them to take the civil services exam. That one last year to prepare for the prelim exam is going to be done completely free for them. We are not going to charge a single rupee. What they need, the books and teachers, food and stay, practices and perhaps mock interviews and things like that, all will be done by Kavian Foundation, the right kind of people. Because preparing and clearing UPSC civil services exam requires a lot of focused, continued, committed study. You need smart work and right guidance, and that's all going to be provided by the Lead India project under Kavian Foundation. We hope all our boys, the young adults, will become fine men and women with sterling character. We hope this kind of projects will be initiated by other parts of the country, and then we'll have a large number of people, young people, who are determined to do something for the nation. Because when they have power in their hands, you know very well, the IAS officers, IPS officers, and others have power in their hand. If the power in their hand can be used for good, nothing like that. We often say, if a school teacher is good, only that small group of children are going to benefit. If the headmaster, the principal is good, the whole school benefits. If the Minister of Education is good in a state, you can imagine how the benefits are going to multiply, because a minister has more power than the principal has more power than the class teacher. Same thing here. A district collector can do wonders for the district, can make the people really happy. A cabinet secretary can do lots of good things. So that's what we want to have. Young people should be trained, and they should remain good people even after becoming civil servants. This 5 to 6 years training that we have planned, we hope and pray will make them that kind of people with a sterling character. We do hope the young leaders emerging from the Lead India project will lead India so that India can be a happy nation. That's all we care for. Thank you very much.